Relentlessly, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, continues to wage war against traffickers and barons. 10 days after it declared Lagos socialite Alhaji Ademola Kazeem, also known as Abdullahi Kazeem Mahmood Mohammed, wanted, NDLEA operative have arrested the fleeing suspect over alleged extortion and trafficking of illicit drugs, as well as money laundering. This followed his failure to honor NDLEA invitations in an order granted by a federal high court in Lagos. The wanted drug kingpin was uncovered as sponsor of some traffickers arrested by anti-narcotics agencies in the recent attempt to export cocaine to Dubai and other destinations outside Nigeria. This war against drugs is gathering momentum in Nigeria, and it seems NDLEA is doing a kind of yeoman's job.
Yeah, I think we must give kudos to Brigadier General Abuba Marwa for doing a fantastic job. And if you read the story behind all these latest arrests, you will see a connect with the former Super Cop, Abakiari. Since he has been arrested, I mean, you will see that there is a nexus. And most of these characters that are being arrested now have one or two links to him. Now, when you this latest arrest, the owner of that popular Adekas hotel, Ademola Kazeem, I mean, imported 9.8 billion naira worth of tramadol into the country, and that's about 13.8 million pills or tablets of tramadol. So, apart from the effect this would have on the youth, I mean, you can imagine what these characters do with drug money. They invest it in property, in hotel business, and also in the auto business. One of them, who is also in this ring, the chairman of Auto Nation, his name is Chris Emeka. That one was arrested in a VGC in around October with almost, I mean, that one actually has a cook that cooks methamphetamine and converts it to nkurumeri for him, and it sends to the east. And so it is they were offering the operatives of the NDLEA huge sums of money, million, yeah, up to 200 million to let them go. And this is what they've been doing before. So they have a network. I mean, AY, these items were imported into the country. It came via containers. Now, they have their hub. They have a warehouse in Ikorodu. They have one in VGC. So, these agents in the in the NDLEA, they have all this information. But before now, they were taking money. They were covering up. But I think with Marwa, I think we should give him, in fact, a round of applause for not only exposing these guys, but actually diminishing the amount, I mean, the volume of these dangerous drugs that is entering into our system. Look at the seizure in Ikorodu, the highest in Africa. About 230 billion naira worth of drugs seized in Ikorodu.
Is that bad?
So, GKB, if the consumption is not high, it won't be lucrative. That means we have a problem with consumption.
Yeah, and that happened in the last.
There's a market. There's a big market.
Yeah, and the market was created by these barons themselves, just like they do all over the world. 20 years ago, Nigeria was basically a transit point where drugs will come in and go out to the far east. Well, in the last 10, 20 years, they've created a local market by taking these children, especially from the north, and then certain parts of the southwest, and injure them on these drugs. And that means that somebody who is an addict at the age of 12 or 13 is hung on that drug for life. And if they don't see the drug, they become restless and they become criminals. So these people are creating a system, a network, to ensure that our future will not come. Because if our young ones have to rely on drugs to even function normally, imagine the level of things they can do when they have access to these drugs. And I want to commend NDLEA not only because they have a chairman that is working, but that the fact that they are trying their very best in a way to ensure that the cooperation that we expect from ICPC, NDLEA, Customs, Immigration, and the FCC, that don't seem to be forthcoming, at least in the general sense. They are taking it upon themselves to do this battle. Because if they don't do that, imagine what will have happened to Abba Kyari, who is obviously a very big pillar in that network. And since his arrest, they've been able to break not only about 13 rings, but around 27 rings of these people, cells of these barons, what they do. Because don't forget, to bring it in, you must have somebody in customs.
Yeah.
You must have somebody in the central bank. You must have somebody in immigration.
Yeah.
And you must have somebody with enough loading capacity to take this drug away from the customs.
Yeah.
Because if you are bringing it inside that particular tank, whatever they bring it in.
Containers,
you are talking about 30, 40, 50 containers cleared under the period of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So while Marwa and his boys are doing a fantastic job, there's a need for them to create a synergy. Imagine everybody working together. This thing will go away in less than 5 years.
And what do we have left when you see that they've infiltrated the system and so many of our youths, they are hooked on these drugs? And we don't have enough rehabilitation centers across the country.
If Jide were to be here, Biko himself, he won't like what I want to say, but I'll still say it. It's like the way Arteta has built his midfield and his team to be conquering clubs in England now. That gives him that's the way Buba Marwa has built his NDLEA
in his own image
to be conquering all these dog barons. Now, I heard that one of them, whose 20 billion was confiscated.
20 billion.
20 billion, yes.
You can see the war chests.
In 103 bank accounts. He was offering up to 1.5 billion naira.
As bribe.
As bribe. So, it's like the birds are coming home to roost. And that's why it's not just Marwa alone, but also his guys.
Somebody like that, with that kind of money, you feel that you can go away with anything.
Yeah, because
you want to buy the system, you want to bribe, you want to.
How much how much was Abba Kyari offering the other time? $50,000 was offering the guys who went to do that that operation on him, and that's a sting operation. Was offering them $50,000 allegedly. So, but these are characters who are offering 1.5 billion to let them go. But I think the men and officers of the NEA, I mean, they are looking at the
future.
The future.
The bigger picture.
The bigger picture. And that's why I give you, you can see the Ikorodu seizure. That's what you are seeing on your screen. September 19.
It's not in a forest, though. It's in an urban area.
In an urban area in Ikorodu. The Adeka's own was right there in VGC.
Right in the middle of the street.
Now they have, for that, the chairman of Auto Nation Motors, allegedly, Chris Emeka, they will hide under one foreign business, whether hotel
in front
or property. Now they were using some BRT drivers as couriers.
As couriers.
Now, also, the chemical analyst, the chemical analyst who converts crystal methamphetamine
The meth.
to meth to Mpurumiri for them is a student of industrial chemistry. One Sunday Uka. They call him the code name for him is Kuka. He has the formula with some other chemicals
For converting
meth to Mpurumiri. And that Mpurumiri, when I read about it, one of them took it in Trafalgar Square, and that fountain at that water fountain at
the water fountain.
the guy jumped into it,
Yeah.
and he was saying he was feeling too hot in England. The other time, one parked his vehicle in Germany and started dancing on
I saw
the
that
street.
video. Yeah.
Even on Third Mainland, remember
On
the
Third
one,
Mainland, yeah.
the
So-
one that just parked that decided to want to
You want to,
defecate.
yeah. So it's the effect that this thing has on our youth is devastating. And to think that somebody will profit from this kind of bad business is unthinkable.
One day is profits.
Okay.
And, I mean, it's just unthinkable.
Once there's
But I
profit,
think
Nigerians will do
once again, I give kudos to the NDLEA,
To the Marwa.
the Marwa, because this thing left our ports and found its way to
Korodu.
Ikorodu
And VGC.
and VGC
And that's the one we know as of now.
and several other places. Several other places.
All right.